Have you ever wondered what it's like to have your deepest secret exposed for everyone to see? To wear your shame like a piece of clothing? That's the world we're diving into today with Nathaniel Hawthorne's classic, The Scarlet Letter. We're breaking down the first half, chapters 1 to 12, so buckle up for some serious 17th century drama. Our story kicks off in a dreary Puritan town in Boston. The first thing we see, a prison door. It's old, it's grim, and it sets the tone perfectly. A crowd has gathered, all buzzing with judgment, waiting for a woman named Hester Prynne to emerge. And when she does, boy, does she make an entrance. She's holding a baby, and on the chest of her dress is a beautifully embroidered but deeply scandalous letter A in scarlet. The G stands for adulteress. Hester is led to the scaffold, a public platform of shame, where she has to stand for 3 hours under the piercing glares of the entire town. The town's leaders, including Governor Bellingham and the respected ministers John Wilson and Arthur Dimmesdale, demand she reveal the name of her baby's father. But Hester refuses. She's strong, defiant, and she's determined to bear this punishment alone. Her local pastor, the young and eloquent Reverend Dimmesdale, gives a particularly passionate speech, urging her to confess the man's name to save his soul, but she still stays silent. While she's on the scaffold, Hester spots a familiar face in the crowd, a man with one shoulder higher than the other. It's her long-lost husband, who is presumed dead at sea. He signals for her to keep his identity a secret, and she does. Later, this man introduces himself to the town as Roger Chillingworth, a physician. He's called to the prison to check on Hester and her baby Pearl. In a tense and private conversation, he makes Hester promise never to reveal that he's her husband. He then vows to discover the identity of her lover and get his revenge. This guy is not here to play nice. Hester is eventually released from prison but is ostracized by the community. She and little Pearl move into a small isolated cottage on the outskirts of town. To support herself, Hester becomes a brilliant needleworker. Her embroidery is so beautiful that everyone, from the governor to the deceased, wears her designs. Everyone, that is, except for brides because, the scandal. Her daughter Pearl is a handful. She's described as a beautiful but wild and impish child, a living, breathing symbol of the Scarlet Letter. She's fascinated by the A on her mother's chest and constantly asks questions about it, tormenting Hester in her own innocent, yet painful, way. A few years pass, and the town leaders decide they might take Pearl away from Hester, thinking she's an unfit mother. Hester panics and goes to the governor's mansion to plead her case. There, she finds Governor Bellingham, Pastor Wilson, Roger Chillingworth, and Reverend Dimmesdale. She begs them to let her keep her child, arguing that Pearl is both her greatest treasure and her daily reminder of her sin. When it looks like they're about to say no, she turns to Reverend Dimmesdale for help. He steps up and delivers a powerful speech, convincing the others that Pearl is a blessing from God, meant to keep Hester's soul from damnation. And it works! Hester gets to keep Pearl, but as they leave, something strange happens. Reverend Dimmesdale's health has been declining. He's pale, weak, and has a habit of clutching his hand over his heart. The townspeople think he's just too saintly for this world. Roger Chillingworth, the physician, moves in with Dimmesdale to take care of him, but Chillingworth isn't trying to heal him. He suspects Dimmesdale is Hester's secret lover and is slowly psychologically torturing him, digging for the truth. One night, tormented by guilt, Dimmesdale wanders out to the same scaffold where Hester stood years ago. He stands there in the dark, imagining the public shame. Hester and Pearl, who are at the governor's deathbed, happen to walk by. He calls them up to the scaffold with him. As the three of them stand there, hand in hand, a meteor streaks across the sky, appearing to form a giant letter A. At the same moment, they see a figure in the distance, Roger Chillingworth, watching them with a sinister look. The secret is hanging by a thread, and that's where we'll pause for now. The tension is building, secrets are bubbling to the surface, and we've got a vengeful husband on the loose. What will happen to Dimmesdale? Will Chillingworth get his revenge? Join me in the next video where we'll cover the dramatic conclusion of The Scarlet Letter. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss part 2. See you next time.